Cool like that. It's all cool like that. Ladies and gentlemen, they call me Ultimate Benzer. Flow stanza, no one's offender. I've been the host with the bubbles.
Hello, you're welcome to my channel. Thank you for clicking this video. It tells me this particular video is very important to you and you also want to learn what I have to offer to you today. I remain yours truly, Grace Ogi, okay? So in this particular video, I want to teach you how you can quickly make your very own Vaseline. Not just the normal Vaseline, you know. Now, this is a special request. Clients called and requested for this particular Vaseline, and I told myself, you know, why don't I just shoot a video and let every other person who would love to make this particular video, this particular product, just do it in the comfort of your home. Like, you know, this is my studio, this is where I do my usual production videos, and I decided to just bring it here. So bear with me, we're just going to do it quick because I am actually a bit in a hurry. Now, as usual in every of my products, I always like to run down the chemicals I always use in every production. I might not get into the quantities, but I will definitely write down the quantities in this video. Because of time, I'll just run through the particular chemicals I'm using to achieve today's very beautiful health. In fact, this particular Vaseline is one Vaseline that after doing it, you would never want to use any other bit, because I actually do this for my kids, and it was from my kids' own that she saw it and asked me to please do for her. I'm making it with vitamin E, I'm using lanolin, I'm using beeswax, cocoa butter, mango butter. So let's run down the chemicals. Now, in here is our paraffin wax, definitely. In here is our paraffin oil, as you can see. Okay, so in here is our lanolin. Okay, now this is our vitamin E. This is our vitamin E. In here is our mango butter. This is our mango butter. In here is our cocoa butter. This is cocoa butter. In here is our shea butter. In here is our beeswax, and in here is mixture of pears perfume, and a bit of lavender. I actually mix different kinds of perfume in here, and that's what I have there. And then here is our petroleum jelly. Okay, so now we've done a rundown of the chemicals we're using. Like I said, I'm going to list out the quantities for you in this particular video, so don't worry, I've got you covered. But first, you know what to do. You have to please like this video, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of content like this, because I've got you covered, and I'm definitely going to be sharing with you a whole lot of tips, productions, and skills that I know are sellable and that will definitely change your life. So let's roll. We're going into practical. Now, as you can see, I have my camp gas here. Of course, all of this are going to be done through using the heat process, and I'm going to be putting it on now. Okay, so as you can see, my gas is lit, my pot is on it, because definitely, and then when you're doing this, please make sure you operate on strictly low heat. You don't want to burn this particular chemicals that we're using. So the first I'm going to be adding in here, especially you must make sure your pot or pan, whatever it is you're using to make this particular product. I'm using this because it's big enough to fit in the quantity I want to make. So you could want to do maybe 1/3 of what I'm doing, which is where the quantity that I'll be listening to you comes into play. So whatever container you're using, make sure it fits properly. As you can see, my pot is dry, it's empty. So the first I'm going to be adding is my paraffin oil, which is what I have here. So in goes my paraffin oil. Okay. You can see the first thing I have added here is our paraffin oil. Of course, you let it heat up a bit. Once you see these tiny bubbles coming out, then you're good to go. You add your next chemical, which is our petroleum jelly. Okay, so whatever it is you're using, fine. Just make sure you scoop it in gradually. Okay guys, so you see how I'm doing it. You just do gradually, and make sure you have a container that can fit. Make sure you're working with a pot or pan or whatever container you're using that can fit in the quantity you're working with. So the idea is to let our jelly also melt up in here, and that's why I'm scooping this gradually. I had to change my stick. This was not doing, it wasn't doing justice to what I wanted, so I had to improvise and I brought in this. Okay. Okay guys, so our petroleum jelly is gradually melting up. As you can see, come close, take a close look at what it looks like now. It's almost done. Now remember what I told you about using a container that fits exactly all the quantities you're working with. Now I'm about to actually turn this. As you can see, I haven't even gone halfway and our pot is almost full. So let's not make my mistake. I'm correcting us now. Like I said, you need to know the quantities you're working with so you get a perfect outcome. And for me, I'm going to be changing into this particular pot now. I believe it should fit here. So let's stick around while I turn it up and then we'll continue. Okay. So as you can see, I have actually turned our solution into a bigger pot. Please endeavor to work with a bigger container that fits the exact quantity you're working with. Now we've added our paraffin oil, we've added our petroleum jelly. The next you're going to be adding is our paraffin wax. Because every other item here are the very basic vitamins that we need for this Vaseline, and it would not be nice that we leave it on the fire to overheat. So we're going to let this melt up. This is our paraffin wax. Once this is done, if it doesn't break, don't worry, just put it in and allow everything to melt up. So once this is done, we'll go ahead and add the rest item. So we'll be back in like 5 minutes or so to allow our paraffin wax to melt up. I see our paraffin wax has melted. Yay! So we're good to go. The next you're adding is our shea butter. A lot of us know shea butter. Now, one of the things you could know about original shea butter is the consistency one and then the color texture. Now this is one very beautiful shea butter. So we're going to be adding our shea butter gradually. Yes. Okay guys, so you can see we're adding our shea butter. I'm going to post the quantities I use. Like I said, I'm just doing a rundown of how you make a very best selling Vaseline. Like once you give this to anyone, trust me, they'll call you back because it does 3 major things to your skin. It leaves your skin looking very young, fresh, healthy, shiny, youthful. It has a whole lot of properties in it, and you can see all the vitamins by using to make this particular Vaseline because it's specially ordered. This is not the normal commercial standard Vaseline. This is a special order for a special client, and I thought to myself, you know what, we're shooting a video of this so that someone else out there can learn how to make their very own beautiful Vaseline. So once our shea butter melts up, yes, you heard me, we're going to be adding, I'm using different butters in this: shea butter, mango butter, cocoa butter, like I said. So I'm just going to add this remaining 2 in here, and I'll turn off my heat source before we proceed. Okay, so just stick around while we do all that. Okay guys, as you can see, our shea butter has melted. Yes, and our oil is hot, so we're going to be adding our mango butter. And also, I'll go ahead and just add our cocoa butter as well. So we'll allow this thing to melt completely, then we'll turn off our heat source. You can see our butters have fully melted. Our Vaseline is in the process. We're getting to the very end. We're concluding this particular production. So the next I'm going to be adding now is my beeswax. This is one of the very essential and important, I'll call it, ingredients that best suit this particular Vaseline for a healthier look for yourself or for your kids. Very medicinal and also very pricey. I know how much I got this very small quantity. So in goes our beeswax. So we'll let this melt up. You can see it has melted. So we're getting gradually to when I'll switch off my heat source. So the next I'm adding is my lanolin. You can see my hands are already on my heat source. I'm about to switch it off. I just want to use this remaining, the hotness of this oil to heat up this remaining ones. Okay, so let me just go ahead and switch off my heat source. Okay. Okay. So we've gotten the last part out of it. Just give it a good mix. Remember, we're using the hotness from the oil itself to melt up the remaining chemicals. So our Vaseline is almost coming to the concluding part. Yay. Not to worry, don't bother yourself with how it's looking like this. Once it starts to cool down, you see the whole Vaseline effect come out. Okay, so now that's it. The next I'm going to be adding is, of course, my vitamin E. So we're done. Now for my perfume, I'm not adding that now. My perfume, I'm going to let this cool completely for like 40-45 minutes before I add our perfume. So I'm going to be back in like 40 minutes before I add my perfume. Okay guys, it's been 45 minutes after. You can see our Vaseline has really cooled down. It's still hot, but the thing there is, at this point, you can go ahead and add your perfume and then pour it in the container you want, because the next stage you see this, it will turn to gel, and then scooping it out to package becomes a bit difficult. So at this point, you can go ahead and add in your perfume. You give it a good mix. Remember, I already told you I mixed 3 different perfumes here. I'm going to list that out, the quantities, and then the particular perfumes I used. Okay, so just give it a good mix. Give it a good mix. Okay, so now once I'm done with this, I'm going to be pouring it in our containers, then you get to see it. Okay. You can see I have turned our Vaseline into this particular container. This is how I intend to supply it, because she requested for a paint bucket, and this is the quantity for a paint bucket. So this is how she wants it. There are Vaselines that you make without adding all the other ingredients that I added, like the mango butter, shea butter. It's completely your decision to make. But this client specifically asked for this particular ingredient, and of course I had to make it happen. If you come close, you see that our Vaseline is gradually turning into gel. You can see, right? So that's why it's important to just turn it. You see, just a little that touched on this gallon, on this container, you can see it's already turning into gel. So it's important to just pour it into your container, whatever packaging you have, while it is still watery or warm this way. That way you get the final look and best. So that once it congeals, once it's blocked, the surface is all smooth and all good. So there you have it. So I'm going to let this sit for the next, give or take, 10-12 hours. Once it's really okay, if you refrigerate it, it's completely, it's up to you. But for me, I like to leave it natural, let the natural air just cool it down, and then once it's done, and then I'll do my final packaging, set it up, and then I'm going to deliver. So that's how I basically want to run this. It smells really nice, especially because of the pears that I use in it. It's really beautiful. It's a mixture of pears, lavender, and like I told you, it's a Vaseline that I know once you use, you fall in love with it. Now see how it shines on my skin. Look at it. And the beautiful thing with it is the quantity of oils and the butters I use. It's not so hard, it's easy, it absorbs very easily into the skin and gives you this very shiny look. I myself sometimes use, like I told you, this client actually saw it in my house and she requested that I please make for her. So I said, what the hell, let me do a video of this, and so other people can learn from it. So I hope you really like this video. I hope you learned from this. So if you really enjoyed it, of course you know what to do. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and of course share in the comment section what other products you want me to do. Don't forget I have a training institute where I charge, but once in a while we'll show free products for all from my heart, and just to let you know that I've got you. Okay, so till I come away again next time in my next video, I remain yours sincerely, Grace Odoke. And also, like I said, make sure you practice this. Please practice this, share your feedback. Let me know how you enjoyed this particular Vaseline, and I look forward to, of course, I'll definitely respond to your comments, and then whatever questions you have, I'll be there to make sure I give all my response. Alright, so I'm going to let this cool off, just cover it halfway, and then I'll be back to continue. Alright, take care, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.
Cool like that. It's all cool like that. Ladies and gentlemen, they call me Ultimate Benzer. Flow stanza, no one's offender. I've been the hustle with the bubbles.